Hey everyone, it's Skyee here and welcome to part 5 of our color along for Halloween. So we've been working in Enchanted Halloween by Hannah Lynn, and we've been working on Witch's Brew, and we are so close to being done here. I'm so excited to see how she's going to turn out. I know in the last part I said we'd probably use tracing paper to pick out her hair color, but the more I was looking at this, I don't want to do red. I think that there's already I don't want to use too much, but there's already a lot of red colors present, so I don't really want to add to that. I do want to kind of pick up on the subtle little bits of yellows that we have here and there, so I am going to go really super light blonde with her hair. I think it's just going to look better that way. So I think I've got all the colors that we need. I'm super excited to get started, so let's go ahead and do just that. One thing I want to get out of the way first is just the rest of these little bits and bobbles here. Her hat and the little bit around her necklace, I want to come in with the gold that we used in the last part, I believe. Where did I put the colors for that? I know I grabbed them. This one's here. Okay. Okay, so we'll kind of work on both of these. I'm just gonna kind of come in along the top with the dark umber. We don't have a whole lot of room to do much with here, but we'll do what we can. Okay, I think we're gonna skip the bronze and go right in with the artichoke. Again, just because we don't really have the room that I would like. So just gonna pop that in over top of the dark umber, bring it out a little bit if we can, try and save a highlight if we can. It's almost impossible, but just gonna lightly kind of go on everything on this one. Okay, so for the hat, I want to use the yellow ochre. So I'm just gonna lightly go over all of that with this one. And then her necklace here, I want to go over with the canary yellow. And I'm just going to pretty much just burnish that. And then lastly, I want to come in with the white just on her hat here to kind of dull these colors up a little bit. There we go. Pop those up there, these out of the way. And on to the next thing, which let's get this little plant out of the way. So what I do when I'm recording color alongs is I keep all of the pencils that we've used for the page in a box, and kind of when I'm getting close to the end and we've got all these random little things, what I like to do is just look in the box and see what kind of colors we have, and I like to reuse a lot of those colors instead of introducing new colors to the page. That way it looks cohesive. It kind of keeps me from throwing too much at the page and then it kind of looks confusing. So a lot of these colors are ones that we've already used. So we're just going to come in with the grass green just at the very base of this little plant here. And then we're just going to finish it off with the spring green, and that part will be done. Nothing too crazy, just a few loose ends. I don't really know what color to do this bit though. Thinking blues, we'll see. Okay, so we'll put those over there. Didn't end up using this one, we'll pop that up there. Let's go in with actually, I think I know what I want to do there. Okay, let's come in with some of these colors, I think. Okay, so we'll kind of work on her clothes and a few other ones. I want to add some more little bits of purple in here. So let's start off with the Indian Throne Blue, which I'm going to just lightly kind of bring down this way. I want this side of her arm to be shadowed, but at the same time we've got this highlight here as well. So I'm going to have to kind of try and do both. I'm just going to lightly blend that into the chartreuse that we have here, leaving a little bit of a really bright highlight, and then we'll just fade this out. And we can add to that later. We're going to go on the bottom and right side of this pendant here. Going to fade that out a little bit. Same with this little jar here, bottom and right. I'm not going to burnish this at all. I'm just going to lightly go over because I want to kind of create that glass effect on here as well. We'll come in on the bottom of this book, fade it out. And let's do the bottom and right of this little jar as well. Same thing as this one though, I want to kind of create that glass effect, so we're not going to burnish that at all. I think that's it for the Indian Throne Blue. We'll just set that aside for now. Okay, so let's come in with our dark purple now. Did I not grab that one? Oh, I did. It's right here. Okay, it's trying to run away. I'm going to pop this in a little bit over the blue and fade it out a little bit. I'm not sure why, but I got one little bit here that's it's kind of making an indent there. I'm not sure why. I want to make this kind of like a purpley pink, so I'm going to go fully over the Indian Throne Blue and turn it kind of purple. And this as well. So next we're coming in with the processed red. I'm going to sharpen mine. Let's actually switch out my chairs too here. I'm going to save a little tiny bit of highlight for the blush pink wherever we can here. This is going to kind of be like a little bit of a rainbow. I'm going to fade it out this way, and we're going to try and blend one of the lighter blues in over top of that and see if it works. Okay, so next we're going to come in with the blush pink. Add this in where we can and fade it in. Just kind of going over some of those other colors and blending into them. And then this bit here, just lightly add that in. Switch back to the Indian Throne Blue for a sec. Now that we kind of darkened that up, I just want to kind of adjust the fade into that chartreuse just to make sure that it's not too sudden. And then we'll actually grab our chartreuse and just finish that. But I think that's a little bit too green, so we'll go back in with the white as well. And we'll soften that up a little bit, just so it's not so luminescent, although I think that kind of made it worse. Oh well, we will leave it. Okay. Next, let's come in with, do the Blue Violet Lake up here. I'm going to pop this up in the corner and kind of try and blend it down into the process red. And then we'll also grab the process red again and just blend that back. I know we're going through a lot of colors here. Okay, Mediterranean blue. And then we're going to pop that in over the Indian Throne Blue here and fade it up. And then we can finish that one with the Blue Violet Lake. Oh, actually, I just used the Blue Violet Lake. Oops. Okay, well we're just gonna lighten that up here, and then actually we'll go in with the white instead then. Grabbed the wrong color. Either one would look good though. And I lost my white again. There we go. Keep putting it back up there. So it's looking good. We're gonna grab our grays. Let's start off with the 50%. Just gonna come in on either side of this. I don't quite know exactly what this is. I think it's a jar that's like half filled here. But to me, I see this as a metal band at the top of the jar. I don't know why, so I'm just going to color it in as silver. And then we'll go on either side of this little plant here. And we can just go in with our 10% and just blend and burnish those. we will use the bronze. We're gonna pop the bronze just up top here, put a little dot of that, and then let's also grab the dark umber. Just give it a little bit of a shadow. And then from there, we can come in with our sky blue light. And I'm just gonna gently go over all of these jars here. Well, all two of them. Okay, and I'm gonna be really simplistic for this little quirk here. Pretty much just gonna use the dark umber and then just fade it out. And then I'm gonna grab the 10% cool gray, and I'm gonna use that to kind of blend into it. There. That used up a lot of colors. Okay, we're gonna put these all to the side now, except for the chartreuse and the white. Probably still need that. Probably still need the blush pink and the process red. I don't know what color we're gonna do her eyes yet, so kind of have to figure that out, but let's get started on her hair. Pop all these to the side for now. Don't mind the noise. Okay, so hair. We don't want those yet. We want these. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the lightest color first. Make sure it's fairly clean. And I'm just gonna lightly color over her hair, which I think this is not hair. I think that's a finger, but I don't really know. Let me reference here. Which is Brew album. Okay, let's see. It looks like most people colored it as a finger. I'm gonna try and find someone who maybe colored it as hair and see how it looked. Yeah, I don't really think that it looks like hair once the versions are actually colored. So we'll do that as a finger, and I'm going to do it as kind of like her. So I'm going to, the way she's sitting, it would technically be her pinky finger, but I'm gonna just kind of imagine that her gloves are like fingerless gloves, so that'll be like actual skin instead of glove. So I'm just going to continue going in with the cream. I think I want to zoom out a little bit so we can try and get the majority of her hair on screen here. Less chance of forgetting to move the page down. I know as I said that I didn't move the page so you could see, but I'm just basing everything, so we're not missing anything important yet. Okay. So I want this to be a light hairstyle, so I'm going to start in with the dark, and then I'm going to go over everything with the light colors. So I am just lightly, well, kind of like medium pressure, putting this goldenrod in. Because when we come in with the next color, that next color is going to go over this and then some, and then same with the next color and the next color. We're going to be fully burnishing with the cream, just to make sure that this stays nice and light. We should be able to fit another section in. Okay. So our next color is the jasmine. So I'm going to go over the goldenrod and then just bring it out a little bit. Okay. Next color is the Deco Yellow. Definitely don't want to go too bold with this one because it is a kind of a little bit of a lighter color. So just want to lightly pop it in here. This is a perfect color if you want like a really shiny, like platinum blonde. But I'm going for like a more dull, like whiter, creamier version of it. Which is where the cream comes in. So with this one, I'm going to use a firm pressure. With all that layering, we shouldn't have to push too hard to burnish, but we're for the most part literally going to go over everything, including the black lines. And then we're going to repeat those same steps just on this last little bit of hair here. Guess it'd help if I put the swatches in frame too, eh? Yeah, I'm really glad we went with the yellow. The red definitely would have been a little bit too much. All right, let's give this beauty some skin, which I'm a little bit nervous about just because of that shadow. Okay. Do what we can. So I'm going to use my usual go-to skin colors. Starting with the Parma Violet. It's perfect that we're only at half an hour because I'm going to really take our time on the skin. Thankfully there's not too much, so give her a little bit of cleavage. Just makes her look a little bit more grown up. Not that boobs makes you a grown up, but I don't know why. Unless the girls look super like childish, I usually do add a little bit of boobage there. But that's just me. You don't have to if you don't want to. I also like to add noses, so she's kind of looking straight at us, but looking off to the side, so I think her nose would just kind of be just kind of like normal. Kind of see the bridge on both sides. Someone's at my door, but I don't want to answer it. I think it's my mother-in-law. I will be right back. All right, we are back. It was my mother-in-law, so I visited with her for a little bit, and then my brother ended up texting me. He lives a little bit out of town, so he forgot his lunch and his wallet at home. It's like a 20-minute drive just to get out there, so spotted him a little bit of lunch money. Now I only have a little bit before I gotta get to work, so let's get this done. Okay, so just gonna drop my pencil and then just gonna darken up the shadows on her nose, maybe underneath her nose a little bit. And normally I would put a shadow on her chin as well, but we're gonna skip that, and it's gonna be weird skipping that, but we gotta do it. Okay. I also need to fix this because it's gonna bother me. I'm actually gonna do that right now. It's just the chartreuse and the Enchanted blue mixed a little bit too much. I don't like it. I want to keep that like soft light green look. So I'm gonna attempt to erase it, which is actually not working very well. I think those colors just mixed together too much. Okay. And then I'm just gonna quickly grab my chartreuse and just lightly go over it. And I'm just gonna leave it just like that. No, I lied. I can't leave it just like that because it doesn't make sense. Nope, we're... Okay, see what happens when I just lightly... There. Just lightly blend into a little bit more with the Enchanted blue. I know it looks kind of the same, but it's a little bit toned down. It's not quite so bad. It's a little bit lighter, so now we're just going to leave it and not touch it. We're going to call it good. Okay. So now let's come in with the nectar. So I'm just going to come in with a light pressure over top of the Parma Violet, kind of neutralize it. And then bring it out a little bit. I don't want her to look super tanned. I want her to be fairly pale. I can use a little bit more pressure here. I can kind of finish everything but her face in one go. I like to do her face in 2 different layers because I like to add blush and stuff, so I don't really like to burnish or anything until I'm ready to there. I mostly just put a light layer down to kind of map color, figure out where everything's gonna go, and then kind of work from there. So let's go in with the peach now. Same thing, I'm just gonna lightly go over everything. I'm gonna use my brush to get rid of all this pencil dust so that way I don't smudge it by using my hand. Just gonna bring the peach out a little bit. We'll maybe add a little bit underneath her lips here. And then we'll come in with our light peach and just do the exact same thing. Just gonna lightly kind of place this everywhere, including just lightly over top of the chartreuse. And then for the rest of her skin, I think I'm just going to use this to kind of burnish and blend everything together. Okay, let's attempt to add some blush to her. So we want the processed red and the blush pink. Just going to do a very light amount of blush this time. And we're just going to lightly go in and fade it out. About there. Go in with the blush pink. Go over top, and then we'll also bring it out just slightly, just a little bit more, and then fade it out, just because the lighter pink will blend in a little bit more with the skin tones than the processed red will. I think I'm actually liking her skin kind of as it is. Let's go ahead and start burnishing it with the light peach. We'll do all these easier areas first, and then we'll go back to like this area down here. We'll do that after, because I'm not quite sure how to tackle that yet. So for their eyes, I like to kind of draw a line connecting the top and bottom part of the eye together, and then I just lightly blend that out towards the inside of the eye, just so there's like a soft stop. And then I just kind of leave it like that. I think that's good enough. I don't like altering the eyes too much. We're going to bring this down and just lightly fade it into the chartreuse. And then let's go back in with the chartreuse, and we'll just add a little bit more over top and kind of fade it out. And add a little bit on her nose. just like that, I think. Okay, so her eyes, I definitely want to go blue. But we'll do her lips first, which I think we're just gonna do as like a pinkish purple. So let's grab the dark purple. Let's see if I can find my swatch for that one. We're also gonna want the blue, well, some blue colors anyways, maybe not all of them, but okay. Let's go in with the dark purple. I'm gonna go along the bottom of her lip with this and fade it up. And then just a little bit on the top lip. And then in with the process red. Same thing, but I'm gonna color that top lip in with this. And then lastly, we'll go in with the blush pink. And this just kind of goes over everything. But we're going to come back in with our dark purple. And we're just really carefully gonna trace along the outline of her lip. Okay, and then with her eyes, I'm just gonna kind of wing this, but I think it'll work good. Let's go in with the Enchanted blue. And I just want to lightly add a little bit of this color because I want her eyes to be a lighter blue, but I still want to give them a little bit of a shadow. So we'll just kind of lightly come up, add a little bit of shadow to the top of her eyes. And then from there, I think I'm gonna go in with the Blue Violet Lake. I'm gonna make sure I grab the right pencil. Yep. I'm gonna lightly start over top of the Enchanted blue and bring this down a little bit. And I always kind of bring it down as a curve, so there's like a little bit of like a semicircle kind of shape going on here. And I like to do that just so that way the eyes look a little bit more rounded. And then from there, I'm gonna grab the sky blue light. I'm gonna start in the lighter area. We'll kind of color that in on both sides. And then we can blend upwards. And we'll just blend everything together. Just gonna clean off my pencil before I go into the next one. Alright, and then let's finish her eyes off completely. We're going to come in with our black. And I'm going to put a very sharp tip on mine. I'm going to go over her eyes and make them really stand out. So I'm going to go over her eyelashes. I'm going to go over the inside of her eyes, her bottom, I guess, lid, and then I'm also going to color in her pupil here. So that already stands out so much more than this one here. So we're going to do the same thing here on this side. And I find that I kind of have to work at a different angle here to be able to go over these eyelashes, otherwise it ends up looking kind of funny. Kind of messed that up a little bit because I went out in the line a little bit too much and it made it look a little fuzzy, so I'm going to try and get rid of that. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see, but there's still just that little bit of shadow, and I don't really like that. I'll fix it with the Posca pen though, so not a huge deal. Okay, so I'm gonna grab some fine liners. Actually, let's grab I want a dark blue, purple, and pink. Oh, and black. So we're going to take a little bit of time to make her hat look sparkly. So in the darkest areas, I'm going to just start stippling some black dots in here. This is a labor of love, but it is so definitely worth it. The finishing touches might put us a little bit over an hour on this video, but she will be done, so it will be worth it. And I'm definitely glad that we ended up having 5 hours to play around with. Let's move on to the blue. I'm just going to add some blue ones in here as well. They probably won't show up a whole lot, but we're going to add them anyways. I'm going to bring the blue ones into the pink just a little bit so they show up. Okay, I'm going to go in with the pink next. the same thing, we're going to concentrate the pink dots kind of in the purple area, but we are going to bring some of them into the lighter pink as well. So it's already kind of, oh, I'm not even in frame. Okay, hopefully I was explaining enough that you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm so sorry. I'm a dum-dum. Okay, and there's a cat at the door. Lilo. Oh, what are you doing with that? It's Miko. And she found a mustache. That is not yours. That's Carbon's. Are you coming in or not? Come on. I'm not feeding you. You already ate. Ugh, I cannot believe I was not in frame. And we were just working on her face. I knew we wouldn't be able to see that, and I didn't even think to check. Surprisingly, the pink actually is showing up quite a bit in the shadowed areas, so I'm going to add some of that here too. But it's already kind of starting to look kind of sparkly, but it'll really look sparkly once we add our white Posca to it. And these are just cheap fine liners I got from the dollar store. I use them all the time and they're still going strong, and I think I paid like $2 for them. So never underestimate the dollar store when looking for art supplies. You can find some pretty good stuff there actually. Okay, now for the fun part, we're going to add the white. So for the most part, we're going to... Kitty, hi, can I help you? You cannot lay on this page right now. Sorry, I'm just going to shake a little bit because she's going to sit on the shelf. Hopefully she doesn't move around too much. Her tail's flicking like crazy because there's birds outside. Might have to boot her off, we'll see. So I'm going to start in the highlighted areas. That's where our white's going to be the most prominent. But you also want to kind of bring some of the white down into the shadows too. So what I kind of like doing is I like to make it so there's a lot in the shadowed areas, and then I kind of fade it out. So I'll put a little bit in the shadows and then just gradually fade it out, and I'll still put like 1 or 2 in like the darkest shadows just to kind of show that it's still sparkly there too. Just like that. While I've got the Posca pen as well, I'm gonna go over the fabric here. So I'm just gonna go over the lines that Hannah has placed in. I'm not going to completely go over them, like try to make them disappear, but I'm just gonna go over just to add a little bit of extra white to the fabric. Okay, just like that. We've also got those spider webs to do, so we'll do those. Just want to make sure that we're in frame. That looks pretty cool. Let's work our way down. I did want to go over these clouds. The very inside of this moon. I think I also want to outline this stuff as well. I'm going to take my black fine liner and just bring these bats out. I'm also just going to quickly take the cream and just lightly color over her eyebrows here. Give her a little bit of a twinkle in her eyes. A little bit of lip gloss, lip gloss kind of look there. Can't forget about this little bit of glass there. We want to outline that. Same with this one here. We'll add just a couple little glass highlighty thingies. What else? I was playing around with the idea of putting white Posca in her hair, but I think I'm going to leave it. I kind of like just the softer look of the black lines being softened by the cream, so I think I'm going to leave that. So I think the only thing left is this long spider web down here, and I'm going to zoom out. So the spider web comes down this way, and it goes out like that. We made it a little bit dark here, so it's a little bit tricky to kind of see what's going on. I might just be adding my own random lines in, I'm not even really sure. There. Let's take one quick look over. I think that was it for the Posca, and then there was only one more thing that I wanted to add, and that was just a little bit of glitter. Just a little bit. So I'm going to go in with some gold stickles. And apologies, but I'm going to turn my book upside down to do so, just to avoid putting my hand in all of that wet Posca. Where are you going? Can you not? Okay, that's coffee. Let's not spill that either, okay? Go on. Go. Okay. I might have to two-hand this one. I might have to poke a pin through this. It doesn't want to come out very well. Do I have one? Is the question. I can't remember where I moved them to. Ah, there they are. Ow. They're definitely pokey. Okay. Let's see if this made a difference. I mean, I don't want a whole lot anyways. I just kind of want to outline this stuff. So I'm just going to bring like little bits out, and then I'm just going to use the nozzle to kind of spread it along. I don't want it to cover up what we already have. Just kind of want to add a little bit of a sparkle to it. Let's do kind of the long side of the moon, a little bit on the stars. I'm just going to dot this around because this is killing my hands squeezing this bottle. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then I'll just use the nozzle to kind of move things around and add more where I want it on these little dots here. And I think I'm going to leave it like that. I don't think there's anything else I really want to add any glitter to. I think I want to keep everything else kind of subtle and just kind of plain. I do like the idea of glittering up her dress. But I think I might leave that. with sleeves up. But I think just to kind of help her dress match the fabric on her hat, let's kind of outline dress a little bit. So I'm just going on the inside lines of the dress. I'm keeping, because these lines are so thick, so I'm just going on the inside of the outline. I don't want to outline the entire thing. And then we'll also do the same with her necklace here. And then I think that's good. I don't think I'd mess with it too much more. I'm gonna zoom out, don't mind the mess. We got stuff everywhere. There, so that is what she ended up looking like, and I just absolutely love her. Oh my goodness, she came together so well. I think my problem lately, since I'm not coloring so much, is it's really hard for me to tell what the page is going to turn out like. So even though we had the majority of this done before we started this part, I had no idea how she was going to turn out. And I'm just going to add a little bit more glitter to this moon here, just because the little bits I put in kind of look messily placed a little bit too much. I want just kind of sporadic bits everywhere, not really gobbed up in one spot. So I'm just going to fix that quick. But yeah, she came together really nice. I love the colors. I love that we went for like a bold, different colored cauldron. I think that's really going to stand out. And there is the sparkles on her hat. So not only do we have a faux sparkle look, her hat already looks super sparkly, but we've got a little bit of real sparkle in there that just absolutely sets the page off, and it's just a little pop of a little bit extra without it being too extra. So that is it for this color along. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to sincerely apologize if I don't get the other color along out. I know I kind of hyped up having 2 color alongs this month, and while I'm still going to aim to have the second one done, it is currently the 30th. I'd still like to participate in Inktober, and I struggle with that enough already without having extra on my plate. So I'm gonna see what I can do, but if we don't get a second color along up, I do apologize. We'll figure something out though. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you colored along with me, I would love to see your finished page. So go ahead and tag me in it, or just send it to me. I'm on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere you can contact me. I'd love to see them. I think that's everything. As always, take care, and I will see you in the next one. All right, lovelies. Bye.